Welcome back to Holistic Moms. I'm your host, Shan Wright. Today, we continue our 3-part series in what Dr. Mindy Peltz answered as the 3 most important things to stay healthy as an aging woman. And so, this is part 2 today, and we're going to dive into something that's often overlooked in our busy, modern lives, and this is the natural rhythms that should be a part of our lives. And I say should, I don't like to should, but at the same time, these are things that we need to be aware of, and oftentimes they just get pushed or overlooked. These rhythms, whether they are cycles of the day or seasons or even our own body, they can have a huge impact on our physical, mental, social, emotional, all our holistic health. And when we align these natural rhythms, we can then experience a better overall wellness, optimal wellness. But when we go against them and fight against that rhythm that's kind of wanting to be there, we can feel off balance, and just burnout actually can lead us into a place of stress. And the reason we're doing all this and going through this 3-part series is because we struggle with chronic stress, and chronic stress causes chronic inflammation, and chronic inflammation causes chronic disease. And so you, mama, I know you want to be healthy and you want to be holistically well. So let's lean in to this second way that we need to pay attention to live holistically well. But first, I want to say happy birthday again to Holistic Moms Podcast. Yes, I'm the one sitting here and recording, but I've had lots of guests on. So there's lots of people that are a part of this birthday, and you as the listener, it is a celebration for you as well. And actually mostly you. And so I'm gifting you the birthday gift. All you have to do to win this birthday gift is go vote for your favorite episode. I have put together the top 5 episodes on a Facebook post in the Facebook group, bit.ly/holistic hacks. That's the Holistic Living for Christian Moms Facebook group. And you can go over there and vote for your favorite. But if you don't see your favorite, if it's not one of the top 5, then tell me which one it is. Not only does this help celebrate the episodes that have made the star appearance, but also it helps me know what to do as we move forward in the show, what you want to hear. And then I'm going to do a random draw of all the voters who will win a free 15-minute wellness accountability coaching session with me. And we are going to do that right there in the Facebook group. I'm super excited because that's a gift that's actually going to serve you in so many ways. You can come to me with any wellness need, any wellness goal. We're going to break it down. We're going to go underneath. We're going to find out in our conversation what is at the root of this wellness goal and what is holding you back from accomplishing it, and what are the lies that you're believing. And we're going to help transform those lies into truth. And we're going to take steps forward on your wellness journey. We're going to go higher, just that little baby step higher up the mountain. Does that also sound like something you want to invest in? Do you want to invest in your holistic wellness and do the good, hard work of getting down to your beliefs? Where did they start? Where are they coming from? What agreements have you made? What false agreements have you made? What inner vows do you have? What generational stuff has been planted inside of you? What word curses have been spoken over you that you need to break up with, that you need to pull up from the root and get rid of them and replace truth into your brain, down deep into your heart, so that you can pursue any wellness goal that you have. You can continue in any wellness goal when you have the right belief system rooted down deep. And that is hard work, and it is not for the faint of heart. That's why you need the accountability to come alongside of you and help you up the mountain. Go to theshanwright.com/coaching And you can book me for a coaching call if you don't win that free 15-minute. That's TheShanWright.com/coaching. And I cannot wait to join you and hold your hand up the mountain. Hey mama, are you stressed by the lack of time in the day to do all the things? Are you feeling disconnected from God, your husband, and even your kids because patience and presence seem out of reach? Do you want a healthier body, mind, spirit, and home, but overwhelmed in where to start? Hey, I'm Shan Wright, daughter of the king, wife, mom to 4, RN, wellness coach, and I know very well what it feels like to want to live well, but about to lose it with my very blessed, full life. After realizing I can't pour from an empty cup, I tracked my way to whole body wellness and so much peace. If you are ready to cancel the stressed out life, learn tactical, intentional strategies as a mom wearing many hats, find more peace, confidence, and joy raising kingdom kids, then listen in. Come on, mama, together we got this. Really, God's got this. So go heat up that coffee again and turn your listening ears on. Let's chat. So what exactly do I mean by rhythms of life? Well, our lives are guided by natural cycles. And you might be familiar with some, like the circadian rhythm, which is your body's internal clock that helps regulate sleep and wakefulness. But there are other rhythms too, like metabolic rhythm, hormonal rhythm, spiritual rhythms, nervous system rhythm. And so we need to be in tune with these rhythms and what importance they have. And when we tune into them in our daily lives and our lives become in sync with the rhythm, then it will enhance our overall holistic wellness. But in our modern, fast-paced lives that we live, it's easy to ignore these rhythms, leading to stress, fatigue, and burnout, like I said. And we all know what it feels like to feel dysregulated. And that is when the rhythm is out of pace. And we know what that feels like because I think most of us have probably noticed nervous system dysregulation and a metabolic dysregulation when you say my metabolism is just off and I can't, no matter what I seem to do, nothing is working for me. That is a dysregulation of the rhythm. We need to pay attention to what the rhythms are so that we can learn how to not be dysregulated. I have an amazing book that I love called The Rhythms of Rest by Shelley Miller. And this is all about really resting and Sabbath, but I'm going to reference this book a few times in today's episode. And she defines rhythms as nuanced and unique to each individual. Rhythms describe the art of living a life embodied with meaning and intention in the same way God creates. The way you move out, adapt to, and integrate with the world around you is like a free-flowing dance of choices. Pay attention to your surroundings, adapt while remaining open to adjustments, and integrate with the world around you. Rhythms shift while remaining focused on what is most important. So let's talk about these rhythms that we want to regulate and how to do so. First off, the daily rhythm, aligning with your circadian clock. Okay, let's start with that one. This is your body's internal 24-hour clock. It's influenced by the sun, light, and darkness. It regulates when you feel awake and when you feel tired, and your appetite, hormones, and even your body temperature. For many moms, women, it's easy to fall out of sync with this rhythm. You might stay up late after the kids go to bed, or, catch up on work at odd hours, early, dark 30, whatever hour, or scroll through your phone before bed, which throws off your rhythm, or wake up early in the morning. You're constantly disrupting this natural cycle, and that can lead to poor sleep, low energy, and heightened stress. You feel like you're staying up later to decompress, and have some alone time, which in fact, when you throw off this clock, this rhythm, it actually increases your stress. So it would be better just to go to sleep. So here's how to better align with your circadian rhythm. Prioritize that morning sunlight. Get outside in the morning for just a few minutes. This can help signal your body that it's time to wake up, boost your hormone levels like serotonin. It improves your mood. And you can even do this with a quick walk with one of your children, a baby in a stroller, but it can do wonders for everyone's mood. And the next thing would be to create a consistent sleep routine. We have got to prioritize sleep. When we sleep, the brain heals, it detoxifies, we burn fat, we repair organs, we reset the circadian rhythm, we balance our hormones. Actually, neuroplasticity increases. That's huge. I've talked about that plenty of times. So try to prioritize your sleep and get that 7 to 8 hours of sleep every night. And you can do this by, waking up and going to bed about the same time every day, even on the weekends. Consistency is key in everything in life, but also in keeping your circadian rhythm in balance. Of course, this can be difficult in that season with littles. So learning to prioritize your sleep and theirs is going to play a large part in everyone's holistic wellness in the house. So whatever you have to do to sleep train, teach them how to sleep, teach yourself how to sleep, it's all a skill. It's actually a skill. Learning to sleep is a skill that we can learn. We have to be in tune in the rhythm of our body's internal clock. So to get that rhythm on point, we have to be consistent in our sleep. So goes for them, goes for you. Do it together. It will increase everyone's mood and energy. We don't want their energy increased, but it will increase everyone's mood and behavior. Okay, and the other thing you can do is to wind down with evening rituals. Your body needs time to shift from awake mode to sleep mode. So this is not watching the TV and scrolling right before you go to sleep, but dim the lights, turn off the screens, do something relaxing like reading, praying, meditating on scripture. This would all help your body recognize it's time for bed. I often get super sleepy when I'm reading with my kids during their bedtime. So then I just end up going to bed right after because I am so tired from that's such a relaxing activity. So it helps them, it helps you. So if you're not reading before bed, or at least with the kids, definitely start doing that. Okay, next, let's talk about your metabolic and hormonal rhythms. Okay, these monthly and seasonal rhythms are all about our bodies and energy changing over time. So it might be a month or a season, but it affects and changes our energy levels, our mood, productivity. And so the metabolic rhythm, which is your body's natural cycle of energy production, storage, and utilization throughout the day, fluctuates. It fluctuates based on various factors like sleep, activity levels, your food, and aligning your daily routines with these rhythms can enhance energy, improve your mood, and promote overall health. So here's how you can honor these rhythms and listen to your body, okay? So that's one thing, is just being in tune with what your body is saying, in tune to the rhythm. Okay, so embrace the season of change. So monthly, we're changing throughout the whole month based on our menstrual cycle and our hormones. And then embrace each season and the change that each season brings. Like in spring and summer, we tend to have way more energy and social interactions in life, while fall and winter can be more restful and more introspective and reflective and dreaming. And so try to adjust your schedule based on this, but also be intentional to care for your whole person so your season doesn't become your life. I think there are seasons that we can get trapped in, and we say that phrase, this is just a season, and that phrase gets repeated months on end, maybe even years on end. We're not realizing this is now turning into our life, and we're not being intentional and being courageous and getting out of that comfortableness that we got stuck in, that season that we started claiming as, I'm just going to do this for this season because this is restful and this is a time to pour into my kids and focus all on them. And it's not, okay? You have to pay attention to your whole body and your personal seasons throughout the ever-changing seasons. Okay, so there are more seasons to connect more with your family at home. But if you don't ever see your friends, and you don't ever get out of the house, and you don't ever do anything for yourself, then your social wellness bucket will run dry. This will take a major toll on your mental health. And back to the last episode, it will take a major toll on your oxytocin levels and your cortisol levels. And you can think, well, I'm really resting a lot. I don't feel stressed, but you're not getting that oxytocin that your body needs because you're not interacting with very important relationships, or once were. And so you can feel lonely in this house full of people because you're doing the same thing over and over. You're stuck in the season. Okay, so let's get out of those seasons if that's where you're at. And then honor your menstrual cycle. As women, we like to just bash our cycles and bash our hormones all the time, but we have to remember they are chemical messengers, and we have to notice what is going on with our cycle. And a lot of women, we don't really learn this until later in life. But your energy shifts throughout the month based on where you are and what phase you're in. So during the follicular and ovulation phase, you're going to feel more energetic. You're going to feel more social. But the luteal phase and that menstruation phase, you are going to need more rest. And so make your energy, where your energy is, match your schedule. So plan those high energy social events and high energy activities and the big strength training workout during those follicular and ovulation phases. But during the menstruation and the luteal phase, plan to have more quiet time, more resting, more relaxing, a lot of stretching, walking, restful activity. Okay. And then, very important, eat according to your cycle and fast according to your cycle. Your body during this hormonal shift that goes on throughout the month really is based a lot on what you're putting inside of you, your food that you're intaking. Okay, so you have to, or not intaking. Fasting is so good during certain phases of your cycle, like the menstruation and the luteal phase. It is really, really good to fast and give your body that time to rest and digest. Your parasympathetic nervous system can kick in very well during those phases, and you're resting and digesting. So, which means you're not digesting. You're not digesting food, so your body can actually heal and rest, is what that means. So you want to fast during those times, and you want to eat foods that help those hormones level. Estrogen producing foods, progesterone producing foods. That's going to be really important. So you can look all that up, but fast like a girl and eat like a girl. Fast like a girl, this book helped me a lot and helped me really understand eating and fasting according to my cycle. I have not read Eat Like a Girl yet, but that book will give you a lot of foods that you can eat during your cycle. So those are both by Dr. Mindy Peltz. So honoring these rhythms instead of pushing through them and powering through them and saying, I'm just on my cycle right now. Aunt Flo came into town and I'm just miserable, and just really figure out what's going on with your body and listen to your body. And if you align yourself with these rhythms and honor them, then you will feel so much better. You will feel more rested and less stressed and less anxious. So that brings us into the next rhythm I want to discuss, which is your nervous system rhythm. The nervous system rhythm switches into your parasympathetic, which I just talked about, rest and digest cycle, but we have to make that switch from the sympathetic to the parasympathetic. The sympathetic is that fight or flight, that constant stress mode that we're in. We have to learn how to go into that parasympathetic. We have to decide and choose to go into that rhythm. Like I said, you choose to fast. You're going to push your body into that rhythm, and it's going to help you get in sync and allow your body to rest and digest, which it wants to do. But if you stay in sympathetic too long, you are cortisol saturated. And then you move into the another nervous system phase, which is polyvagal theory, and you're in that freeze mode and numb, and you can't feel your body, you can't feel what's going on, you're not in the rhythms, and you do numbing activities, you go in the scroll hole, you binge TV, you binge food, you drink, whatever is coping, because you don't even know what to do. You don't even know how to get into these rhythms. You're frozen. Your nervous system is at a freeze mode and does not know how to react, okay? So we don't want to get there. That's what happens when you get in that sympathetic too long. So we need to learn how to switch into the parasympathetic and rest. And so if you are constantly in stress, your female body will work against you and your whole body will feel off. This is like a dysregulation loop. We constantly feel this nervous system dysregulation. And, rhythms of this world that we're in, they want us to get there. They're constantly pushing us into this dysregulation. We have to fight against it. We have to say, no, this is my body that God blessed me with, this temple, and I'm going to care for it. And I'm going to do things that are good for it. I'm not going to just listen to what the world says to do. So here are some ways that you can tune into these personal rhythms. Plan your tasks, again, around your energy peaks and notice when they are. Like you could be a person that works best in the early morning or mid-morning. So try to schedule your most important activities then, your most creative work. Yeah, the things that you want to really hone in for the day, do them then. And then your lower energy tasks when you don't have as much natural energy going on. And then incorporate micro breaks throughout your day. So people have learned to work in 90-minute chunks because that's really good for most people's rhythms, and then take a 5 to 10 minute break and then go back. And that break is actually going to help you work better and be more productive. So you'll come back refreshed and refocused. So the best thing to do is take that 5 to 10 minute break outside with fresh sunlight and fresh air and sunlight on your face, and then you'll really come back focused. But that's a good thing to do, a rhythm to get in if you are a work from home mom or work away from home mom, or even a stay-at-home mom and you're homeschooling, whatever it is. This is a good thing to do. Or maybe even just like with the kids, take a 90-minute chunk and go and do an activity, and then all take a break, like a mental break together. And you can even do it with them. And then eat in alignment again with your energy. And this is where the fasting can come in again, or eating too much or too little can really disrupt these energy flows and this rhythm that you're trying to get in with your nervous system. Our whole body, like food is medicine, so our whole body is affected by what we put in and what we don't put in. And we want our body to have time to switch to the parasympathetic nervous system, which means it needs to not be working hard at digesting food. It needs to be having the time to not digest, so that, like, if you constantly are putting food in, it's constantly working at digesting. So we need to give it time to rest. And a great schedule you can follow for this, if you don't want to go full on fasting at any point, is a 4-4-12 schedule, which means you eat dinner, 12 hours later, you eat breakfast the next morning. So make sure when you're done eating dinner, you wait 12 full hours. That gives your body plenty of time to heal, digest, and rest. And then you eat breakfast 4 hours later, no snacks. you have lunch, another 4 hours later, you have dinner. That's a great schedule to get your body into switching to that parasympathetic nervous system. And this leads us also into the last one I want to talk about, which is spiritual rhythms, because it's all about rest. Rest, rest, rest. And so we want to get our bodies internally resting by switching into the parasympathetic nervous system. We also want to get our mind, our emotional rhythms in this part of rest. And that comes from really tuning in and abiding in the Prince of Peace and in the Holy Spirit, who is your comforter and one who brings you to that place of complete surrender and rest and reliance and dependence on Him. So for all things spiritual rhythm, I love the book Sacred Rhythms by Ruth Haley Barton. She talks a lot about arranging our lives for spiritual transformation. So you don't live and then fit in the spiritual stuff, but you live for the spiritual rhythms. You live, they make up your life. It's really amazing. So there's practices that she talks about in depth in here, like prayer and solitude, silence, scripture, community, fasting, service, Sabbath. So that would, you can do all of that within Sabbath, but we know God created Sabbath for a reason. It's a command to keep it holy. So for Sabbath, she says, the point of Sabbath is to honor our need for a sane rhythm of work and rest. It is to honor the body's need for rest, the spirit's need for replenishment, and the soul's need to delight itself in God for God's own sake. It begins with a willingness to acknowledge the limits of our humanness and take steps to live more graciously within the order of things. So there's so much goodness in this book about Sabbath. There's also a ton of good information in the book Rhythms of Rest by Shelley Miller about Sabbath. But this is the main rhythm that God knew would be best for the body that He designed, for the life He has planned for you. It includes rest. Do not work your little body to exhaustion. He designed it for rest. And I'll leave you with another quote, and this one's from Shelley Miller. Sabbath is a weekly preparation and anticipation for making space in our lives for Christ to come into our everyday, to come in. This is me talking, to come into our everyday, to come into our busyness. Because when we have this busyness, it's really just a distraction and avoidance of what is really what we need to pay attention to. And it can be a sign that we're not fully trusting in what God has for us. If we're constantly filling our schedule and we're not taking the time to rest because we just don't have time to rest, we just don't have time to take Sabbath, then we're not fully surrendering and trusting God for His plan of our bodies and our families and our work and our futures. Our actions are showing that we actually don't trust Him. She also says, choosing to leave practical things undone. She's talking about on Sabbath. Leaving things undone is a brave act of trust and relinquishment. And relinquishment often precedes the miracle. That brings me to my favorite quote, which is obedience precedes the miracle. And if we are obeying, then we're keeping Sabbath because God says to keep Sabbath holy. So we have to have a day that we say, this is my Sabbath. This is my day where I am in complete surrender and preparing and anticipating for what you're doing in my life. And I'm making space in my life. I'm putting all the things down, all the to-do lists down, and I'm coming into your rhythm, Father, and I'm coming into the rhythm that you have for my life. Where can I tune in to the spiritual rhythm of my soul? Where can I tune in? Is it in prayer? Is it in solitude? Is it in worship? It's in all of it in that day. And then you bring those rhythms into your everyday, not just on Sabbath, but on all your other days. Because then you are arranging your life according to your spiritual self and not the other way around. A lot of times we're arranging our life based on our physical needs and the physical needs of those around us and jobs and careers, and that's backwards. That's the world's way. God's way is for us to align our spiritual rhythm with Him and what He has for us and make that the focus, and then put in all the other needs and physical and all the other rhythms and all the other things we have to do in the other spaces. So first, be in tune. I saved the best for last. Be in tune to your spiritual rhythms and where you can tune your heart and your mind and your soul and your bodies to what God has for you. Okay, so I hope you can see when we live in sync with these rhythms, we can create a life that feels more balanced, less stressful, and more energized, which we all want more energy, right? So here are your action steps for today. Tune in to your circadian rhythm. Try to get outside for more morning light and get some good, solid sleep. Okay? Friends, go sleep. Go take a good night's sleep. And then embrace the seasons of change and reflect on your metabolic and your hormonal rhythms. Are they dysregulated? If so, are you still stuck on your solution? You don't know which way to go to fix these metabolic and hormonal rhythms? Then please email me. I have lots of solutions that could help you. I have supplements, other natural supplement solutions that have nothing to do with supplements. I have worked my way through a lot of these areas, and we can find a solution for you. So email me at hello@theshanwright.com. And then honor your nervous system. Notice your feelings and learn how to switch your parasympathetic system on. We talked a lot about this back in episode 112, so go back there. And then arrange your life rhythm for spiritual formation. We are spiritual beings in physical form. Lean into the spiritual rhythms that God has for you to live your most peaceful life. And now by tuning into these rhythms, you will not only feel healthier, this is part 2 of feeling healthy and living healthy, but you'll also start to experience more peace, energy, and calm in your everyday life. I hope you enjoyed this episode today. And if you found anything helpful, be sure to share it in the Facebook group at bit.ly/holistic hacks for your other holistic moms. And for more practical tips on holistic wellness and living in alignment to your rhythms, follow me on Instagram at @theshanwright or check out my website, theshanwright.com. And if you feel dysregulated in any way, any of these rhythms feel off, we can work together to find you back to your rhythm. And you can book me for a holistic wellness coaching call. That can be found on my website, theshanwright.com. All right, until next time when we discuss the third thing for women to pursue to live a healthy life in this series, may God's face shine upon you and give you peace. Shalom, shalom. Hey, Wellness Warrior, I pray that blessed you. And if so, it would bless me big if you would write a 5-star review and subscribe on Apple Podcasts. Not only would this make me super happy, but it will allow for others to find this show too. Also, I love to chat over on Instagram, so make sure to take a screenshot, share to your Instagram stories, and tag me at @theshanwright so I can see it and we can keep chatting and bring other moms to chat with us. Until we get to chat again, mama friend, may the Lord's face shine upon you and give you peace.